Juno arrived in the forest on a beautiful day at the very beginning of spring. There to welcome him were 10 magnificent moopaloops and one completely ordinary snortelpig. Juno loved the forest so much he decided to live there. Juno climbed above the treetops. The forest seemed to go on forever. Swinging through the branches were 9 leaping lumpy bumps and the completely ordinary snortelpig. Others followed Juno. They loved the forest too. They built houses and boats, watched by 8 feathered frinklepods, and the snortelpig, of course. Juno began to work on a little garden. The fishermen's children played games amongst the trees. They counted 7 playful puddlebutts, plus 1 snortelpig. A little village grew. Some hunters went into the forest looking for sneaky snagglebites. There were 6, but the hunters didn't catch them, or the snortelpig. Tourists came. They saw 5 timid tumbletops, but that was all. Juno kept working in his garden. The village became a town. Then the railway was built. Excited passengers watched for wild animals. They caught a glimpse of 4 grazing gondolopes. And what was that other funny-looking creature back there? The town had become a city. A team of scientists arrived to study the animals. 3 lippid flipper-flaps was all they found. The city grew bigger and bigger, and the forest grew smaller and smaller. Some workers came across 2 pointy prinklebats. They had never seen anything like them. Nobody had seen a snortelpig for so long, people weren't even sure they existed. One grey morning, the people of the city woke up and looked out over the endless buildings and were sad. Why do we live in a place like this? They asked themselves. There are no trees. So they left. The city was dark and abandoned. Juno opened his door and looked out. Sitting there in the garden amongst the plants that Juno had saved was a snortelpig, completely ordinary in every way, except that it was there. The snortelpig lived in Juno's garden for many years. The city crumpled, forgotten. The snortelpig grew old and died. So did Juno. But the garden lived on. Juno's children continued to care for the little collection of trees and plants, and slowly the forest returned. The children and grandchildren of Juno kept a diary of all the animals that returned. And on a beautiful day at the very beginning of spring, the forest and the city found themselves in perfect balance. Stories were told of the day when an extraordinary creature lived in Juno's garden. The children listened with wide eyes, and they never stopped believing that one day they would see a real-life snortelpig for themselves.